Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over all of my empty products that I used in the first quarter of 2025. I almost can't believe that we've already made it through the first quarter. It feels like it has been a year long. So much has happened with the world and our lives and weather and just so many things that have gone down in the past 3 months. So I'm glad that we made it to here to this point. And so just to kind of sum up what I used the past quarter, I'm going to go through the makeup, the skincare, like face wash, shower things, anything that I saved that I used up in the first quarter, let you know my thoughts, if I would repurchase, did I enjoy it, did I not enjoy it? And then I'm going to tally up the total value of everything that I used up. I kind of had to estimate around on some of them, like some of the mini products that I have. I either just don't assign a money value because it was a free gift with purchase, or I just kind of try to do some math and figure out probably what the cost it would be or was, because I don't still have like the purchase receipt from it. So if you want to see everything that I used up in the first quarter of 2025, then just keep watching. So whenever I finish something, I always just like throw it in this Lululemon bag that I keep in my closet. And that just kind of is where I store my empty products. So it always feels good to empty that out and know that I'm gonna get to recycle a lot of this packaging and kind of gather my thoughts on some of them. So let's start with, let's do shower things first and then skincare and work our way to the makeup at the end because that's the most fun part. So in the shower, the first two things I have are shaving products. I have two shaving gels. One is the Up and Up Moisturizing Shaving Gel from Target. This is just what I buy. I feel like shaving gel is just something that you don't need to spend a lot of money on. This I think is around the $2 mark at Target, and so I usually just buy this. I like it, I'll buy it again. I also used up this mini travel of the Harry's shaving gel. I know this is typically a line for men, but we just like had the travel one already from something like a gift or like a gift set. And so I was like, shaving gel is shaving gel. I'm just gonna use it because if you didn't see one of my previous videos at the beginning of the year, we lived in a hotel for a little while we had some work done on our home. So this was just good to have for that little travel size. So you set up, this is more expensive though. I think this is around $3 or $4 in the travel section. So I don't typically buy travel size shaving gel, even when I'm traveling. I just don't think it's worth it. But we had this one, so I used it and it was fine. But I would just go back to this one. So we've got those. So let's do some face wash. So I've got three face washes. The first is a cleansing milk situation. It's from the brand Osea. And this is their smaller size. It's the 0.6 fluid ounces. I believe you can also buy it in like a, I remember it's 3 fluid ounces or 5. But it's nice packaging. It's a glass jar. It was a pump, which I like. So like I was able to get everything out of it. So I do appreciate that with the packaging. I do think that for the price, this is a little pricey. This size was $12, although I do remember, I think I got it on sale. The brand was doing a pretty big sale, I think like last summer. And so I bought like 4 or 5 items on like super sale just to try. But if you were to repurchase this today, it would be around $12. It was actually really nice. I enjoyed it and I think it worked really well. But when I look at this and how expensive this is, versus the e.l.f. cleansing balm that I use that costs around $10 for the tub, I feel like the cleansing balm lasts me longer, and so it's just a better value for the money. So I probably won't repurchase this unless, again, I see them do some like crazy sale like they did last summer and I just want to buy a couple more products to try. I would maybe throw this in just as a mini because it was nice to have when traveling. Another mini travel size that I used up, I bought this for the trip I went on to New York in December. This was the Naturium Niacinamide Cleansing Gel. And I actually felt like this was a pretty big size for travel. This is 2 fluid ounces, so it was TSA compliant. So I was able to bring that, and then I just used it up after I got back from the trip because I was only gone for like 4 days. So, you know, it was nice, but again, this mini size I believe was around $5. So that's a lot for the amount that you're getting, like price per fluid ounce. It's a lot. And so I imagine the full size is just as expensive. And again, it's just one of those things. I like the Naturium brand. I'm kind of trying a few of their products in their line. over the course of a couple of months. I like their lip balm that I have. I love their sunscreen, the Glow sunscreen. I think that's really great. And I think I want to try their like lip butter that comes in like a pot next. So I am enjoying trying the brand. It's just figuring out which products are like really worth it to me. And while this was nice, I don't think I would repurchase it again unless I wanted just like kind of a fancier face wash for a special trip, like how I used it the first time. So good, but not looking to purchase again anytime soon. And then finally for face wash and body wash, I used up the Panoxyl Acne Foaming Wash. I use this on my face maybe like once a week, and then I was using it on like my chest and back. I don't have acne on my chest or back, but I was kind of doing it more as a preventative measure because I do run 3 to 4 days a week, kind of longer distances, so I get very sweaty, and then I do weightlifting and gym stuff on other days. So I just wanted to make sure that I was keeping those areas of my body clean, because with sweat and bacteria, it can easily clog your pores even on your body. So I just use this once a week on my face because I do still have acne breakouts, and it is 10% benzoyl peroxide, which I believe is the highest percentage you can get over, or that you can get at the drugstore without it being a prescription. So I didn't want it to be too harsh on my skin, which is why I only used it once a week, and then on my body. And I do think that it works and I could see a difference. So I haven't repurchased it yet just because I haven't. It's one of those things you put it on your shopping list and then you just kind of forget, or you're just not at a store thinking about buying this. So next time I'm at Target or Walmart, I will pick this up because I do enjoy it and I do recommend. So let's talk about some other skincare that you would use after the shower, or however you please. So first is these Medicube Zero Pore Pads. These were toner pads, and it's a plastic jar. It came with 60 pads, and I believe this was around $18 to $20 on Amazon. And I enjoyed these. It comes with a little like tweezers to put in there. I enjoyed these, but if you saw my video, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe 3, this is one of the things that I am not going to be repurchasing in 2025, and hopefully for ever going forward. It's just so much packaging waste for what it was, and they're all disposable pads. You throw them away. So this entire product is just ending up in the trash after you use it, and I just feel kind of guilty about that, honestly. So going forward, these were nice. It was honestly, for the price, it's a pretty good value and they worked well. But I think I can get the same effect using just a toner or a micellar water that comes in a big jug and a reusable cotton pad that I'm not throwing away. Because I think I mentioned in that video too, well, I can't even read, you're not gonna be able to see, I can't even read the recycling number on this because it's all like in Chinese or something, but I can just tell by how thick this is that this is not recyclable where I live. So that's something, I don't know, a lot of people don't care about that kind of stuff, but I think that's something in the beauty community that we could do better at, is just thinking about the packaging and our consumption habits and how that is affecting our trash and our environment in general. So while these were nice, I will not be repurchasing. Next, I finally used up the Necessaire neck serum. And this is very expensive. I believe I got this in one of the Sephora sales, maybe like a year, 2 years ago. This was 1.7 fluid ounces and it was $65. And I'm here to tell you, this is absolutely not worth it. It's important to moisturize your neck and to get that good skincare going on there with like collagen and whatever, but like, just use your moisturizer on your neck. Honestly, like, I saw no difference. I felt no difference on this. I just don't feel like it's worth the price. The packaging is nice, but honestly, it's a pretty small bottle at the end of the day. So absolutely not worth your money, I would say. And then the other skincare items I have are just like mini samples. So there's not really a price value on these. I had this like little eye cream that came in like a little gift set from somewhere. So it was fine. It's the Oars and Alps Ultra Hydrating Eye Cream. I think this is technically like a men's skincare line, but like whatever, skincare. That was fine. Used it up while I was traveling. Nothing to write home about. And then I had gotten these 2 Peach and Lily little samples with a gift with purchase. So one was they're from the Rescue Party line. One is the Barrier Restore Serum. So it was just a little tube of serum. It was nice. Again, it's so small, it's hard to tell if it's making any sort of difference. I didn't really feel anything. And then same with the other one, it was the Barrier Comfort Cream, so just a moisturizer. So they were nice. They're good to have for traveling. I like getting little gifts with purchase like this because then I do take them on trips because I do travel for work occasionally and then personal travel. So they were nice, but I'm glad that I used them up and kind of moved those little things out of my drawer. And then the last skincare item I have is the Ordinary Lash and Brow Peptide Serum. This retails for about $15, so it is super affordable for what it is. I have not repurchased it yet, but I am going to the next time I'm at Sephora or Ulta. I just honestly haven't felt the urge to go skincare or makeup shopping in 2025 yet, but I'm kind of feeling it coming on as, you know, spring is here. I've used up a lot of things. You kind of want to revamp some stuff. I don't have anything to replace this with. That's what I'm trying to do. If I use something up and I have something to replace it with, I'm trying to use that instead of buying something new. But this, I don't have anything and it's so affordable. I will definitely be repurchasing this. And I do see a difference. I don't use this on my lashes. I only use this on my brows. The inner part of my brows are quite sparse. And so I do feel like I have seen a difference over time using this of that area just getting like a little fuller. So for the price, I think it is absolutely worth it to try. So the last thing I'll mention before we get into the makeup is perfumes. I have been slowly but surely working through my little perfume sample collection that I have going. You know, you can always get these through like your Sephora order, or like I think I ordered something from like a department store like Nordstrom's one time and I didn't even pick any samples and they sent me like 10 of these things. So I mean, it's a way to save money on perfume. I don't personally really care about perfume, but since I have them, I want to use them. So the first one I used up was Gucci Guilty for Women. So that was kind of a florally scent. And then the other one was also floral. It was the Jo Malone Peony and Blush perfume. So those are both nice, but again, I just never feel the need to ever buy a full size of perfume. But speaking of full size perfume, if you are interested in the Dior J'adore perfume, I have a completely brand new full one. Here's the bottle. This is the commercial with Charlize Theron and now Rihanna. It's a pretty bottle. I just don't feel the need to own a large perfume like this. So if you are interested in checking that out, I will have my Poshmark linked below. I'm selling it at a very discounted price for what the full price is. I believe this normally retails for about $100. So check out my Poshmark to see what I'm selling it for. And if you're interested, you can pick it up there. So now for the more fun part, the makeup. I'm happy to say that I have 5 makeup items that I was able to empty in the first quarter of 2025. Some of them you may have already seen from my project pan, and then others I just used up naturally. My goal for this year is to use up 25 makeup products in 2025. So let's start with the 2 project pan items since you've already seen those if you watch my other videos. If not, that playlist will be linked below. The first was my Tarte Cream Bronzer, the Tarte of the Sea Bronzer in Breezy. Completely used that up. They don't sell this anymore, which I think is a shame because I really did enjoy this. But I believe when I bought it, it retailed for about $18, which was also a pretty good price for this product. But I enjoyed it, but can't repurchase, so that's off that list. The next item I used up in project panning was my mini Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. I also enjoyed this, but I just also feel like when it comes to brow pencils like this, there are other options out there that are very affordable. I'm currently using the e.l.f. brow pencil and I love that. It's like $5 and I just feel like you can't beat that, and it gives me the same look and feel as this, I think. So I won't be purchasing a big size of this. I believe I can't remember if I got this as just like a little freebie or a point perk, or I feel like I did buy it though, as maybe just like it was on a deal or like super sale on Sephora or Ulta or something, and it kind of kicked me over to getting the free shipping. So I think it's a fun way to try products if you do that, but I don't feel the need to repurchase from Benefit. I feel like all their products are quite expensive for what they are. Next, I used up a eyeshadow primer. It doesn't look like it, but it is empty and dried out. This was the Fenty Beauty eye primer, and this came in a little mini set that I got a long time ago, and it was this and then a mini version of the Fly Liner, which is one of my absolute favorite liquid liners, the brown one. I highly recommend that. You should check that out if you want a brown liquid liner. And I think that set, since they were both minis, I think it retailed for about $20. So I guess the value of this is anywhere from $5 to $10. It's hard to tell. They don't actually sell a mini size of this. And I think the full size retails for like 20 or 25. But I would not pay that much for an eyeshadow primer. I'm currently using up the other one that I have. And after that, I probably would just buy a drugstore one. Like I've used ones from NYX before, CoverGirl. I've heard the Milani one is really good. So I think there's definitely affordable drugstore eyeshadow primers that work just fine. I also finally used up this mascara. This is the Maybelline Lash Discovery mascara in the waterproof one. And it has a really skinny brush, which I actually really enjoy. I feel like it really can get into your lashes and get them more individually so you don't end up as clumpy. And also because it's so skinny, it's really easy to get that lower lash line. And the waterproof, I think it does work. I bought this, I don't know if it was last summer or the summer before, that's embarrassing, for a video. So I will link that video below. It's kind of like that clean girl summer makeup look. So that's what I bought that for, and I've used it intermittently ever since then, and it stayed, you know, still black and fine for, you know, over 6 months, which I know is what they say you're supposed to get rid of mascara after 6 months. I never do, but it was time and it's empty. So I would consider repurchasing this again for the waterproof aspect of it. And the last makeup item that I have is a setting spray. This is one of my favorite setting sprays, but I feel like it's getting harder and harder to find. It's the Makeup Revolution Fix and Glow setting spray. So it's a glowy setting spray, and you do have to shake it up because if you let it settle, you'll see the like pink on the bottom, so you do need to shake it up before you use it. But I just really enjoy this. I felt like the hold was really good, and it did add that little bit of like glow and dewiness to your makeup look when you were finished with it. So I did enjoy this. I think the only place I've seen it recently is Target for about $10 or $11, which is fine as long as it's at Target and I can buy it. I know I can get my hands on it, but I used to be able to find it at like Walmart and Ulta, and I just have not seen it at either of those places the last few times I've been there. But I would repurchase this. I'm working through my last setting spray right now, and when that's gone, I think I will buy this one again. That is everything that I used up in the first quarter of 2025. So just to give you some numbers, the 5 makeup products that I used up, the retail value of these from my calculations is about $53 worth of makeup. So I am pretty darn happy about that. And then for the skincare, I tallied up all the skincare that I felt had a retail value or that I could find a price of. Didn't do the little samples or the perfume samples or the eye sample, but the total value of that was about $130. So that makes me feel really good too, that I am using things that I have either spent that much money on or that are valued at that much. And so the grand total is $183 worth of products that I used up in the first quarter of 2025. So that's exciting. I hope I can keep the momentum going. We've got our first 5 items on our list for 2025 for the makeup. So that's exciting. And I know that I have a handful of more items making their way to the empty status in my everyday makeup drawer, my project pan. So I'm feeling really good and motivated about that goal for the year. But yeah, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it gave you some insight and some thoughts on purchasing some of these products and not purchasing some of these products, what you want to spend your money on, what you don't want to spend your money on. Please give this video a thumbs up. That really helps me see what people enjoy and what they want to see more of and helps my channel. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're updated of all of my upcoming videos. And I will see you all next week. Bye.